Crossover time brought to you by Atco Pest Control.
I'll bet you.
Mike's on.
I'll bet you. Mics are all on.
I don't know what you heard about me.
Yeah, nice. Willard, hip-hop knowledge, second to none.
I got Willard with a haircut today.
Second to some.
It is
That's what it is.
It's
second to many.
Yeah.
Haircut?
Everybody, you know what's funny?
No, that's a haircut. There's nothing else.
Of course it is. But
When the hat's not on,
here's
it's
what's
a
funny.
haircut.
Right. Here's what's funny. Is the haircut was actually days ago, but I wear hats so often that nobody, like you're just noticing today.
But you can't get a haircut and hide it.
Well,
I hate hats because I feel like that's my best attribute. But anyway,
I will wear a hat 8 days a week. And,
the Beatles.
You know, there was a meeting today.
It's a 4.
So, plus I woke up with a headache.
Okay.
Sometimes if I wake up with a headache, I don't like putting a hat on.
No aspirin or no, you just let it ride out?
Yeah, no, I'm already like 2 doses in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Dibs, you in trouble.
You know what happened this week? I'm convinced. Morning show residue.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Morning show residue.
If I may, on behalf of Dante Whitner, S-O-F-T.
No, S-A-W-F-T is how I spell it.
Yeah.
But no,
it's pretty soft.
Sir naps a lot.
Smart. Veteran.
I pounded through that morning show, and I made the most of it because I was like, if we're going to be home at 10:30, we're golfing. We're going to the beach. I got on the ferry with my kids. We're going back into the city.
Wow. We're going to New Hampshire. We're going to Iowa. We're going to Michigan.
We made the most of every hour. And then I got to the weekend, and I had the goal. I had the nerve to ask myself every afternoon after a full night's sleep, God, I just can't get myself going today. What is the problem? And it finally dawned on me 3 headaches ago. I'm like, the
switchback.
I think I'm paying for it now.
So myself, and Bonte, out of the 6 hosts, love the switch the most in regard. He was like, I can sleep. No. You did your thing.
I loved it.
I can gym
I am
and
number
eat
1 on the list of who loved it the most.
Yes,
without a doubt, dude. Without a doubt. I loved it more than anyone.
I loved
you don't
it.
listen to me, because that's what it is.
I loved it.
I feel like your spouse. Daryl, you don't listen to me.
Or your co-host.
Yeah.
But anyway. I'm sorry. What did you say? No, I loved it, but in doses.
Okay.
We're not doing that every week.
I loved it, and I wanted another 15 years of it. Give me more of it.
The best part of it, Dib. See, how did I miss that?
There are 7 best parts. And the first best part is you walk into this building, and no one's here. Because when I walk in here at 12:15, 12:30, every workstation is taken, and it's... And I can't come in here and, run takes.
Wow, man.
There's nowhere to show prep other than the kitchen.
3 days a week, that is. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, you're right. The other thing is, look, doesn't come in until halfway through the show. And the other thing is, at 9:58, I race my partner to the elevator.
No crossover.
And I missed that. That's the one bad part. I missed you guys, but I like getting home and you get home and you get time with the baby, or you get to golf, or you get to nap, or all of the above, and your day opens up. Yeah. Afternoons are great, and I love my partner, and I love my show, and I'm blessed to do what I do, but you wake up, and it's just a question of, what can I squeeze in before I have to go to work? Wow. And you guys have a little bit of the, you can do a little bit of early morning, and you can do a little bit of late afternoon. You've got some tweener time, Steiny. You got some tweener this time of year.
I mean, it was a difference. I tried to play golf on Wednesday. It just wasn't, what do the kids say? It didn't hit the same.
Yeah, you text me on the course. I was like, oh, boy.
Well, it's funny because
I was nervous because we didn't have a lot that day, and I'm down in Palo Alto thinking, if I run into traffic, I got trouble.
And I will play that round probably next week, the Dawn Patrol with the fellas. And, you get off the course at 10:45, and immediately you're like, man, I'm a little tired, and I have an hour drive, and now we have to grind on some content.
Can I acknowledge what many of the people listening to us are thinking right now? And I just want to apologize right now for the entire room as we sit here and break down Which 4 hours?
You know what?
That's fair.
Marcavanius doesn't like it when I do that.
To come in here and talk about sports.
Okay.
I mean, good.
That is the sporting life.
Some FedEx driver is like, bleep all 4 of you,
no doubt.
and your stupid 4-hour jobs where you yell at each other and go home.
Why?
I just want to acknowledge the rest of you. I'm sorry for that conversation.
Well, why would you perpetuate that myth that we only work 4 hours a day?
No, it's awful. It's not a myth, but we don't.
It's a perpetuation sensation. That's what that was.
We don't work 8. We don't work 8, and some would argue some would argue we work
24/7.
Thank you, Daryl.
It really is,
and it's also 0. Do you love it?
Love it.
Then
I'm
you
blessed.
don't work.
Everything Dibs said was from my manual.
Then you don't work.
I'm telling you right now.
Have you ever gotten hurt doing this job?
And Mom said if you find a job you love, you'll never have to work another day in your life.
Almost fell on your head.
What if it would have hit me?
Go ahead and try to convince me watching the Giants last night wasn't work.
That is.
Try to convince me.
Exactly.
It's hard, man.
I won't.
Catch a fly ball.
Young outfielder.
You put Sale on Twitter, that hurt me. You've given up.
I've arrived
It's
somewhere.
because he's an A's fan.
Sell
on Twitter.
Yeah, I meant the A's.
That's a 5.
I was talking to John Fisher.
Yeah.
Totally.
Willard, I saw that. I was like, my boy is man.
And I meant it. Like a night's
You should have
sleep.
seen the private thread.
So if they move Snell like Steiny was saying, why wouldn't you see what you could get? If I spend $200 million on an investment, I'm riding this bad boy out into the stand and say, Giants eliminated. The math is not there.
I was with you. I have been with you. Normally I'd be with you, but for me, we've arrived.
Wow.
And the math is not with them. Like, just because something's possible does not mean, like, you as a team in baseball, you've got to convince your front office that you're good enough to warrant giving up future assets. And this team has absolutely screamed from the mountaintops, no, we're not. Why on earth, other than Farhan trying to save his own job, which none of us should be activated by that, other than that, what reason has this team given its own organization to go invest more into them here at the deadline? They're not good enough.
Wow.
They make little mistakes every single game they've scored. They came out of the All-Star break and we all said the same thing. It is desperation. It is go time.
2 weeks, you said.
The urgency is through the roof, and they've scored 11 runs in 4 games.
Man.
3-3-3-2.
What a gym last night.
Lost,
And they have faced 0 good pitchers during that
last
time.
night was the one.
Yesterday, I mean, they did face a young phenom.
What? His name was River?
River
Was his
Ryan.
name River?
Stop.
River
What
Ryan.
are we doing?
A
They got
former
the first 2 runners on. I said, here they go.
two-way prospect
Son
in the
of a hippie.
organization.
I mean, what are we doing?
And his brother's name is Ryder. Ryder Ryan.
If you're scrapping and
Couple
you're
of double
desperate,
R's.
if I were a manager, I would have been mad at Soler. He said, we are struggling to get damn runs. We'll take first and second. Why are you trying to go? When we're 4 game, we got a 4-game lead.
That's
when you can risk it. No, something's happened. We got 2 runners on. Sit your ass at second base and let's hope we can get something done. But to make the first out at third base, I'm like, that's snake bitten to me.
That's brutal. And
you can't do that, Steiny.
Snake bitten.
If Bob,
no, it's a bad decision.
But it's a decision you can't make. He's not wrong.
No,
Bob Melvin, if you're going to hold on to a vendetta, rightfully so, against horrific umpiring for 2 nights in Colorado, but you're going to hold on to that and then take the lineup card out on Sunday to scream at them, or I hope you're doing that in your clubhouse too.
Wow.
Because there are so many unacceptable mental errors happening on the field with the Giants right now.
I said, you got to be kidding me.
You can't do this stuff.
First out at third base in the top of the first, a rookie pitch. His first start, you got 2 runners. Sit your ass in second, Dibs. Let's try to get some. And it just changed everything to me.
Yeah.
But catch a fly ball. That's embarrassing,
Well,
man.
and that unfortunately falls on the manager, and we all want to say that, Farhan's in trouble, and he probably is in trouble. But if you look at the attention to detail of this team, that is pathetic, the attention to detail. A fly ball to left center that is not really threatening to go out. It's warning track, and you had 2 guys there. You take it, I take it, no one takes it, and that was the ball game.
2 young players. Yeah. I mean, that's going to happen. with two young players.
Steiny in high school, that's not acceptable.
Luis
see it all the time.
Luis Matos looks completely overmatched in all aspects of the game right now.
Wow.
And that's what's tough. I know everyone wants to see him play. I know everyone was mad when he got sent down. But the bottom line is, these are these things that butt heads with one another, which is you want to see young players play, and then at the same time you're like, we've got a week and a half to play really well. Well, then you can't put people out there who aren't ready. So
he has been fried mentally, I believe, by that getting the player of the week, the last send down Dibs. Now with the plate, I'm like, he's just. It ain't even about his at bat. It's about what's upstairs, and I think that's where the strikeout's going to come.
Well, so good luck to Hayden Birdsong on Saturday then, who might be fried mentally, who has 12 strikeouts, and he is now going to be in San Jose for the week.
He's coming back, I thought.
He is coming back.
They said go work on some stuff.
Right. Go ahead and work on sitting on a bench in San Jose instead of being at Chavez Ravine and watching Major League Baseball. Instead, now you're in Single A watching the Modesto Nuts.
I'd rather him pitch than Hicks, who's going tonight.
Well, because they've got 8 games in 7 days, they need both. Right. They need both, and so that's fine.
But you've given up. Shasky's given up. You've given up. He don't even want his team to make the playoffs. Think about that.
You've given up too. You gave up on the Pirates earlier this year.
I was hurt.
Well, you gave up on him.
But I'm back.
You said you were no longer a fan.
Exactly.
You declared your fan-free agency.
Hey, I'm right here. No, go ahead, get it to me.
No, you did.
But real ones know you can never divorce your team. I was down, they were down, Willard, and now things are looking good.
We're fans.
Schemes, I'm back.
No,
but we're fanatic.
Yeah.
There's no shame.
That's fair.
We're fans.
No, there's some shame. There's some shame.
Yeah, of course there's shame. There's shame in being a fan.
And then you come back home.
You're allowed to throw remote control and then 2 weeks later be like, I love this team. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do it. And by the way,
he got me last night. I put a pirate thing. He goes, this is ridiculous.
If the Giants uncork a 7-game win streak the rest of the week, I'm going to be in here on Monday with a tutu on. That's a promise.
Happen. I get what Steiny says. It's highly unlikely.
The hypocrisy strikes me a little bit here.
But it can happen, though, Dibs. And then what?
Sure.
That we're talking about new information.
Well, what does that mean, the hypocrisy?
Well, you've already said before, like, you can't switch teams. So if
you sweat, that's different than switching opinions.
Well, it's not, to me, a lot different than giving up on your team and saying that I'm no longer a Pirates fan and then you're back on board. It's no different than maybe saying, I don't want to be a Giants fan anymore. Maybe it's the ownership. Maybe it's the failure of the front office, and maybe you want to be a fan of a new team. Why is that different than giving up on your team?
No, I don't get that. Who said anything about giving up on being a fan? Who said that?
Well, Guru, there's a difference here.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
Yeah. I mean, as a fan, you can do anything.
You can't get married while you're going through a divorce.
I'm talking about
divorce
this season.
has to be finalized.
Well, I mean,
so you know what I mean?
I'm talking about this season. I mean, we've got the receipts. You went to the Warrior Parade 2 months after saying they were not a contender.
Exactly.
So
I was only there for my job.
I mean, we're allowed to be wrong. Good God, we do it every day.
And you're also allowed to leave your team and go be a fan of another team.
Yeah, you're also allowed an emotional reaction that is irrational.
Of course,
you're allowed that.
Thank you, brother.
You're allowed that.
There's a difference.
Fan is short for fantastic.
There's a difference here. At no time did Willard say, "I'm no longer a fan of the Giants." You said, I'm no longer a fan of the Pirates.
Is what started.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
I know you guys didn't get into it. Here I go. I'm running it. But the presser.
Brandon Aiyuk.
I think he's going to get traded, or he's not getting a new deal.
He's not getting traded.
He's not getting traded, and he's not getting a new deal. That's what I heard today. I mean, again.
So tomorrow he'll be at practice fully, you think?
He has no choice. No. Like, I love that people are surprised that he reported today. What's his other option? No. Yeah. If you want any snapshot of what we've been trying to tell you for weeks now about how much leverage the 49ers have in this situation, you just saw it. You just saw it. This guy spent 2 months on TikTok and podcasts.
He did.
And then showed up. Because he has absolutely no choice. He stands to win nothing by sitting out this month. Nothing.
But
what does he gain?
He'll lose service time, but if he really feels like they did him wrong, oh boy, I better be careful here. He could stay at home on the couch to hurt himself, cost him some chicken, but his point on Lynch and Kyle, you guys did me wrong, that would be hammered home, but he also would be hurting himself at the same time.
Devastating himself.
Not only financially this year, potentially crushing tens of millions of dollars for the future.
That's the big one for me. Even if he wants to hold in and then, my hammy, my neck and my back, if he wants to go that route, and, he's here and he still makes his 14.1, and maybe he has a year where, man, my toenail, I can't play this week, and my pinky, my neck and my back, and he plays, 7 games and gets 31 catches and 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, then what's his market next year?
Well,
as he becomes a free agent. So the only thing he can do is what TJ Hushmanzada said to us, Brandon Aiyuk's personal coach. He said, BA's going to show up. And he has this great high-pitched
that was not a bad TJ.
No.
I like him.
And the way TJ talks, everything ends with that, a certain high pitch. It's so awesome. And, BA's going to show up, and he's going to ball out, and he's going to make them understand just how much he's worth. Yeah. And that's the only thing you can do.
And the frustration may well build because, that's what I...
We mirrored it to Klay Thompson where he took that on the court. There are different stages, but...
There's a reason wide receivers often, and they get labeled as divas, there's a reason a lot of them get loud and boisterous on the sideline, and it is because of the nature of the position they play, which is that they're very important, and they would like to be seen and heard and all of those things, but they need the offense to be slanted toward them to do that. They can't control it themselves. Yeah. They can't be Kobe Bryant and just be like, give me the ball, get out of the way. Someone's got to throw it to them. So what happens this year if Aiyuk is like, fine, I'm going to play on this option and watch what I do now? And Kyle's like, actually, we're putting Pearsall in on this play.
No doubt, man.
Because we need to build him up.
That's not inviting to anyone, though. But that could very well be how it goes down.
Understand exactly what just happened here. The 49ers drafted his replacement. It's a friend of his, and they stick him in the same room together.
Now, see, real quick here, I always thought it could be Debo. I always thought Debo was going to be on the outskirts.
Might be.
And Aiyuk was going to get paid, and then they'd make that decision next offseason. But, man, if he goes in here on this 5th year, which it looks like, then it very well may be him.
And did you see the receivers doc on Netflix?
I was so offended by Devontae Adams. I know he's a baller.
You shut it down.
Yeah, but no, I watched it all.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Speaking to Willard, there was a Monday night game, and St. Brown was balling for Detroit against the Raiders, and you could tell my man was getting frustrated because Jimmy couldn't get him the ball, but he was like, I want to do that because he knew it was 2 top receivers, but he said some things in the doc Devontae did to where I don't think I could play with him, and then coming off the field after a loss, Aaron Rodgers, I love you, making a show of it. If I were his teammate, that would be a turn.
Yeah, but the doc, I think, hit Mark a certain way, and then the more I've looked at the doc and thought about it more, I'm kind of on Team Willard about, the Niners' affinity, their love for Debo and what he brings, and Debo as the identity of the Niners and the boombox and everything that Mark was talking about yesterday. It started to really resonate with me about who they really want to keep. And Debo he's cut from that cloth.
But has the league figured out the usage, the way that they use Debo? You look at the Super Bowl, he was taken out. The Baltimore game, Willard, he was taken out. And I'm worried to see, I just want to see the adjustment to the adjustment. Debo, when you look at, they're ready, good defenses are ready for that.
I don't know, man.
You got to beat me through the air vertically, not that stuff. It works. But I think they're caught up.
5 weeks before the end of the season, we were all ready to go for what was the game of the year. And that was in Philadelphia. And Debo Samuel took the entire city and whacked it over the head.
That was his best game.
And that was not that, you know what I mean? So I would caution against going game by game, and I get it, because this Niner season last year was so epic until the end, until it wasn't.
They lost the 3 he didn't play, or the 2.5.
Correct. But you get to the end, and I think we build narratives based on what happened against Kansas City. And that's a very small sample and one situation. I would guess what the 49ers are doing here is not picking Brandon over Debo or picking Debo over Brandon. It's picking, let's wait and see which one we want to pick. We got another. You do it this way, you get another season of information.
In that scenario, though? Brandon, because he's risking a lot more.
Maybe.
Lynch saying, what did you say, Steiner? You got it down. What was Lynch's quote about the 5th year?
The 5th year option is something we all sign up for.
Exactly.
Yep. Wow.
Exactly.
That's the deal.
Telling deals.
And don't feel so bad for Brandon. He will make more this year than he's made in his first 4 years combined. So he's fine. And you know what? Goo, if he goes out and goes for 1,500 yards and Debo misses 6 games, well, now who are you signing if you're the Niners? You know what I mean? And you still have the franchise tag that's sitting there. Right.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to use it twice. I doubt they'd use it once, but they could. They could. So
then you're paying 2 wide receivers more than $50 million if you keep Debo
for 1 year,
right
before Brock's extension kicks in.
True, but that's not really. I don't think that that's the way that they want to go about their business, especially when you look at Mooney Ward and all the other contracts. We talked about it yesterday. Trent's going to make about 34 next year, and Kittle's making 20 something, and a lot of those numbers start to balloon up next year.
Boy, interesting.
It's Super Bowl or bust.
TJ confirmed, by the way. We'll do it in 1 hour.
I love it. Okay, TJ Hushmanzada.
What do you think he'll say?
He'll say all of it. He is very, very forthcoming.
He's the best.
And he, again, for those who don't know TJ's connection to Brandon, that is Brandon Aiyuk's personal coach. I remember, and he worked with him before the draft.
I feel like Brandon's joining you guys. How about that? He don't bite his tongue.
They talk a lot.
Yep.
They talk a lot.
Does you think Brandon pays him anything to be his personal coach?
He did. I don't know if he still is.
Anybody out there need a personal coach? I could be a great personal coach.
Mm-hmm. You guys missed
for what? What do you coach? Oh, life coach.
A life coach.
I never trust people who say that that's what they do. I'm a life coach. Like, what the hell do you have figured out?
Let me tell you about this.
I got it all locked.
It's kind of like when a doctor walks in and he's 360 pounds. It's like, what are you telling me what to do with my body?
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Great point.
He had the greatest tease all show about. He had a shout out to this one person. And all show, I was captivated. He didn't know it. Like, who's it going to be? And it was one LeBron James.
He shouted out LeBron James?
Real quick, Steiny, just tell wow, that was heavy.
Are you his life coach?
What's happened to you?
It felt like it.
He single-handedly prevented the United States from 2 humiliating losses. He hasn't missed a shot in the 4th quarter.
Those are exhibition games.
Well, but that's the point.
I mean,
he's playing harder than everybody else. So I'm just taking my hat off to him.
Good teams win, great teams cover, and they were laying 43 against South Sudan. Braun.
They should have lost that one.
Dude.
Dibs.
Steiny.
Dibs.
Steiny, talk to me.
I like the player.
I like the pick. It's so good.
And he's getting hated. What's he doing leading the Olympics? Curry should have got that nod.
No, it should have been Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah.
It should have been Sydney.
Ledecky.
It could have been Sydney McLaughlin, who's going to be the runaway gold medal winner in the hurdles.
So what do you think? What do you think went into the decision? So shout out LeBron to give it to Bron.
Well, he's a global icon, but normally, if you look at the history of flag bearers for the United States, it's normally, killed. And I went into this with our producer, the director of sports, quote unquote, air quotes. Yes, you get air quotes. And I'm gonna save the blast for Friday with what happened today because I'm still mad about it. But normally, the flag bearer is somebody who's a little bit more inspirational. This was a classic front runner move, and I don't like it.
I gotta believe that LeBron thought to himself, I wonder how I could become the flag bearer, and started sniffing around and asking questions, and then going up to Peter Uberoth or something and saying, I know you're still not the U.S. Olympic guy, but who would I speak to? Peter Uberoth. I tell you, I saw him at an airport once.
No? You speak to him?
Yeah, it was
he can't still be the director of the U.S. Olympic team. That's going back 40 years.
Now the director of sports.
It was just awkward.
Actually, for the IOC.
It was awkward.
That's so good.
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
All right, gents.
Yeah, TJ.
I feel like we were at an all right, gents moment at 2:11.
Well, actually, we're negotiating right now.
Yeah.
He's at 3:15. We're at 3.
Okay.
We're going to see if we can meet in the middle. I've got the franchise tag if I need it. But I think TJ will join us in approximately an hour.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's very good.
So we'll see you Thursday.
And
One
one
place
place
tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Well, actually, I may see you tomorrow. I'm going to go down.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go down.
All right.
But just on my own accord. So, if you
show off that haircut,
I'm going to be wearing a hat tomorrow.
No doubt.
That sun
brim.
beating down out there.
Wide brim hat.
Yeah.
Don't
Have
forget,
fun tomorrow.
we're on 95.7, The Game.
Be my life coach, Steiny.